It feels as though the safety is, again, in this case, going to one side, and it is all-out investment in infrastructure. Governance doesn't matter.
Hello from Davos. Good to see you. You know, it's interesting because we are seeing a slightly different narrative on the ground. We are actually seeing that there's a lot of excitement around artificial intelligence, which is powering every industry, and governance and trust building is right central to it. Here at Davos, we have enterprise leaders from some of the top companies. We have policymakers, we have governments represented. And what's really interesting is artificial intelligence is the talk of the day, but more importantly is trust. So I'm not seeing safety and trust conversations moving to the side. I'm actually seeing they still being right in the focus here.
But he undid that executive order that potentially you helped advise on previously about AI safety and governance. So do you still think that businesses will commit to having a Credo come in when they are also looking to build out? How new is this investment seeming from SoftBank, from Oracle, and from OpenAI?
You know, the Trump administration has been investing a lot in artificial intelligence, just like the previous government has invested a lot in AI in the past couple of years. I think we are going to continue to see the momentum in this space. Now, what form it takes, I would say the next 48 hours, and next 6 months are going to tell. But there is still a lot of discussion around what does good guardrails, what does good governance for this very powerful technology look like? And as you know, this is such a broad space. Artificial intelligence technology is creating markets and markets within markets, and guardrails are becoming central to the conversation around trust and risk management.
Certainly, it still remains important to Europe, and there are two very different tacks being taken, it feels like, from EU regulation and US regulation. With your expertise, having advised the previous administration and potentially still working for this next one in an advisory role, Navrina, do you think this $100 billion, maybe $500 billion, is actually new? Or is it just being packaged in a new way? Because look, apparently all the infrastructure was already being built in some way in Texas, according to Larry Ellison, and we already heard from Masayoshi Son about his $100 billion intentions.
It might not be a new idea, but I think this is showing further commitment to this transformational technology. So is this a good step in the right direction? Absolutely. Now, what this means in terms of making sure that we are driving growth responsibly, that is yet to be determined.
Have you been asked for advice on that by the new administration? How do you think your role will continue to blossom or not with government?
So we are continuing to serve the new administration as well. As you recall, I've been on the National AI Advisory Commission for the past 3 years, and I have committed to serving the new administration in the coming 3 years. So looking forward to contributing to our nation's growth, especially in artificial intelligence.
And Navrina, just leave us with what Europe thinks about all this, clients there, as they do focus in on the governance side.
So as you can imagine, EU AI Act goes into effect in a couple of weeks, especially with the AI literacy requirements, as well as requirements around the prohibited use cases. So there's a lot of discussion right now at Davos around what does AI literacy mean for an enterprise? Because to be able to build and grow with artificial intelligence and bring all the prosperity that everyone's talking about, you need to be literate about these technologies. And so what we are seeing on the ground right now is a lot of conversation around AI literacy and what that means for enterprise.